Guys, we had this 4-year-old little girl that we're treating. They've been with us for 3 weeks, and this is one of those cases that accelerated quickly. We've seen a lot of changes. Couple things. The mother came to see me. She looked up some homeopathic remedies online and gave one, and she actually selected a good remedy that was a good fit for the case. The only problem was wherever she read to give this medicine, it said to give it frequently, and it was too much dosing. So homeopathy is always a minimum dose, minimum amount of medicine, and don't give it frequent. So she gave this medicine, it was tuberculinum in this case. She gave it 3-4 days in a row, and the child was getting worse. So homeopathy is very powerful when the medicine is selected correctly, and the mother had a great choice here. Just it was way too much. So the good medicine, the appropriate medicine for that case, caused things to get a little bit worse. Her child was becoming a little bit more agitated, became a tiny bit more aggressive within 3 days after the 3rd dose. And then we had our call booked. She booked in to see me. We took the case and we decided to wait a week, stop all medicine and wait, because I told her it was too much medicine, and most likely it was a good medicine, but it's too much, and that's why things got a little bit worse. So she stopped, and a lot of things changed. Constipation went away. That was there for years. What else? Energy. This child was extremely hyperactive, always running, always jumping, the mother was telling me. That calmed right down. And the hitting, a little bit less hitting, a little bit less aggression. And that was after that medicine. So that was really good of her. We took the case, and then we had a follow-up a week after we waited, and we stopped everything, and I got her to go off that medicine. And we went on another medicine that was really fitting the case. This medicine was, oh, and by the way, that medicine, tuberculinum, the reason it worked for that child, there was a strong family history. Whenever you see a strong family history, the mother, the father, the grandparents, the siblings, you see reoccurring respiratory infections, bronchitis, tuberculosis, you don't see a lot anymore, but bronchitis, pneumonia, any type of cold that goes down into the chest, any type of respiratory infections, and it happens year after year after year, and someone close in the family like that is very prone to it. Doesn't have to be the child. It's an indicator for this medicine to help with symptoms of autism. Okay, so you'll see a lot of the symptoms of autism disappear if you have the right indications for this medicine. Now, there's other indicators. Don't just give this medicine. It's a powerful medicine, but you really need someone to evaluate whether it fits and how much to give and how to give it. Okay, so see a classical homeopath, whether you see me or someone else. Don't just do this on your own. It's not ideal because, like I said, the right medicine, the child can become super hypersensitive to it, and enough of it will trigger a healing response, and you'll see things drastically change. Too much of it will cause aggravations. This is the nature of homeopathy, okay? If you give the wrong medicine in homeopathy, the child could have the whole vial of that remedy and it will do nothing because it doesn't match the symptom picture. As soon as it's a perfect match, they become hypersensitive to it, so you gotta be very cautious. So anyways, the follow-up, we give a medicine called Calcarea carbonica for this child, which fit the case. This child had extreme autism, but extreme sweating of the head at nighttime. There's a lot of perspiration from the scalp and the head when they sleep, which is another key indicator of this medicine to help with symptoms of autism. So, and it's amazing. The child now was a flight risk, would run off. Mom would call her, she would not answer, and she would not come back. Now mom says she stays close by. She still goes away a little bit. She stays close by, but I call her, she comes back now. Or another time she called her and she started coming back, and mom just grabbed her hand and she came. Other times I said, what would happen before? Mom said, I would have to go there, chase her, grab her, and she would be kicking and screaming. So this is a change. Took her to the grocery store, she didn't run off. So pretty cool. The flight risk improved in 2 weeks. Some of these cases are crazy with the speed they happen. Other times it takes a month and a half. Sometimes within 1 or 2 weeks you see these changes. And every case is different, so we can't guarantee or say, okay, every child in 1 week is going to change, you know? But we prescribe based on the symptom picture, and the child's body will change as it will. So anyways, that was good. The main thing after 2 weeks, which the mother was just ecstatic. She couldn't believe it. She says, she's talking so much more. She's understanding so much more. And we see the speech and comprehension problems with these children. She answers questions now, the mom says. It's like before she wasn't able to have a conversation. Now we're having a conversation, you know? So mom was giving me some examples. Mom was in the mirror combing her hair, And she goes, "Mommy, are you brushing your hair?" She said a full sentence quickly like that. Mom, they were watching TV, and Mom says, "Mom," or she says, "Mom, what are we watching on TV? What are we going to be watching?" You know, so she's just giving me little examples of what happened. Another thing, this case was crazy. Another thing, this child had surgery for a tight Achilles, constantly toes pointed. We see this toe walking all the time with kids. Sometimes it changes quickly, other times it takes time. It's a secondary issue though, okay? But this child, the mother says, even when she sleeps, her toes are pointed and her calves are engaged. She had a surgery for this 2 years ago, didn't correct anything. It's not a surgical problem. It's not a structural problem with the Achilles or the calves or anything. It's all in the mind. It's all from here down. It's not structural in most cases. We get this child on calcarea carbonica. Now she's able, the mom says, she's able to keep her left foot flat significantly longer now, okay? And the right one, not as much, but still a little bit. So now this little girl is starting to go flat-footed, whereas before, all day she was on her toes. So this is only after a week and a half, 2 weeks on this medicine. It's crazy. But this is what happens. When the medicine fits the case, the whole case shifts. Understanding, comprehension, speech, words, behaviors, physically, things change. It's amazing. It still amazes me. So the mother is super ecstatic, and so am I. It's nice when you see these things. What else did she say? Oh, and she says, I'm a little bit shocked by this, but I'm really happy by it, the mother was saying. She says, we actually had an argument for the first time, and so I wanted the details about this, and it wasn't really an argument, but the little girl was saying, I'm 5 years old, and the mother was saying, no, you're 4 years old, and she goes, no, I'm 5 years old, and I want to do this, and I want to do that, and I'm 5 years old. But they were joking back and forth. She says she wasn't mad, but the daughter was actually debating with her back and forth. And this was a little girl who wasn't speaking very much before and had no conversation skills back and forth. She wasn't able to do that. So the mother was laughing while she was telling me. She says, I'm super excited about this. Guests come over now, and she wants to play with the kids and the guests now before she was in her own world. Mom gave me an example of how her speech has changed. Before, if she would say something, she would say it slowly, like she was thinking and the words were coming to her mouth and she would say it. So, I want to go outside and I want to go play outside. She would say something like that. The mother said, now there's no thinking involved. Now it's just like, Mom, I want to go play outside, so I'm going to go outside now and play. Just quick connection of the thoughts to the words. And that was a huge shift for this little girl. So, I mean, this is a week and a half, 2 weeks, guys. This is crazy. Medicine was calcarea carbonica. It fit the case. This will not work for every case, and you have to be careful how much you give again. Again, if the medicine's right, they're hypersensitive to that medicine in homeopathy. Too much of it will cause an aggravation, meaning symptoms can get temporarily worse if you give too much. If the dose is right, if the strength is right, if it matches the symptom picture of that child, you'll see drastic changes. So reach out to a classical homeopath who specializes in any type of developmental delays or autism. If you have any questions, you could contact me. Homeopathy is very, very powerful when the right medicine is prescribed. This is the possibilities with homeopathy that we see. Okay, so it's amazing. Anyways, I want to share this with you guys. It was exciting. I wish you guys all the best. God bless you guys. Any questions, please reach out.